Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Talking Ayahuasca show. So we have the usual suspects with us today. We have Laura, Massey, and Andrew Bartzis. Hello, Laura and Andrew.
Hi Dale. Hi
Hey
everyone.
Dale, how's it going with you?
Yeah, good, thank you. How are you guys?
Doing good today.
Good, good.
Yeah, we're good.
So we're going to be talking about ayahuasca, our own experiences, our understandings of ayahuasca itself. So let's start with you, Laura. Ayahuasca, what does it mean to you?
It's quite a mixed bundle. It means a way to elevate my journey, um, which is always great, but it's how you get to that elevation, which can sometimes be a bit sticky. So, my first ayahuasca journey was what Andrew calls a diamond experience. So, I had what he says I needed at the time, and that was an incredible, very, very positive, wonderful experience with ayahuasca, um, connecting to many things, Native Americans, everything that I'm really in tune with. And the second journey, which I had with you, was was more challenging for me. So it. I know it gives you what you need at the time, and I understand that. So I've learnt so much from Grandmother Ayahuasca.
And Andrew, what does ayahuasca mean to you?
It's like, what's your favorite movie? There's no one singular meaning to it. Everybody gets something different out of it. I will make a couple statements up front. Ayahuasca is not for everyone, especially if you've been on depression medicine before. The standard rule for all Aya groups is if you've been on a depression medicine, you have to be off of the depression medicine a minimum of 5 years for you to have anyone of a decent journey. Depression medicines greatly affect how you process the journey, as well as allowing depressive concepts through in the journey. With that being said, my first set of experiences were quite challenging. I was letting go of people, places, and things I didn't want to let go of, but in the journey, it showed me if I didn't let go of them, I wouldn't continue on my journey because they weren't going to be a part of my journey. And then as I began getting more and more into the grander understandings, ayahuasca reminded me over and over again it's not about the experiences you have in the journey, it's how you deal with it outside of the journey. And it's how you re enter that journey space without the need of the medicine. The medicine is a grant, it never truly leaves you. And you understand that blessing, that unique blessing that is being offered from the medicine, you don't need to do 10, 12, 20 sessions. And there are a lot of people that do that and don't want to shit on them, but you don't need that many. It shouldn't be your religion. It was never meant to be it. It was meant to be something that got you over the hump of spiritual growth or stuck in a situation where you needed the medicine to remind you of the magic of the other fabrics of reality. Many different Shipibo traditions believe different concepts, different things, but we were not raised in those. We were not raised on those ancestral spirits and communications from the forest. Many of us were raised in a concrete jungle, having no connection to our ancestors, no connection to the other ethereal realm beings that are ever present everywhere, and how to commune and communicate with them. In my off times from ayahuasca, I learned far more than I ever learned on it. The journeys that I had and the journeys that I led were also preordained, part of the karmic journey of being a teacher. And as I began to realize the greater concept, I will say this as a brutal word: there will be no ayahuasca in 10 years from now. All of the ayahuasca will have used up, all of the ancient vines will be gone, and it'll only be those that are protecting the final groups of it. And then there will be no more medicine available in mass for people. So it's not about get out and run out and do it. It's knowing that once is enough. And there are times that you do more, a handful of times in a lifetime. And I know that's contradictory to many, many, many of the other teachers out there, but that's what ayahuasca taught me.
How long does it take ayahuasca to grow, Andrew? Is it 100 years?
To be usable, ayahuasca 75, I believe.
Okay, yeah. And we're getting to that point now where we've almost used all of the resources.
Yes, by the end of the decade, by the end of, in the less than 10 years, there will not be what is known as ayahuasca vine left and chacuna to mix together in the original format. There are plenty of other plants that produce DMT. Okay, but it is not the same experience as ayahuasca.
So, Dale, what's your perception and experience with ayahuasca? How do you see ayahuasca?
I saw, so at the start I was a bit nervous about it, but once I got over that nerves, it was kind of like an opening for me to experience the infinite world and the grandmothers. And it allowed me to see what was beyond the veil and just stuff I was avoiding. Um, it was like my first journey was amazing. And the taste of it, ayahuasca tastes awful. And me and Andrew have gone over this before.
Yes,
Like
yes.
the taste of ayahuasca makes me gip. And I remember when I had my second cup, I actually started gipping because of the taste of it. But for me, it was about the remembering. And when I did the ayahuasca, it allowed me to remember who I was. And once I got over the hump and hurdle, it was about receiving and accepting love. Because I is there to teach you as a teacher of love. But a lot of people get their instincts programs coming in, which stop them from going on that journey. I know, Laura, you had one of the times where you had a death, didn't you, on your Aya journey? Do you want to share a bit about that?
Oh, was that with you?
Yes, it was. Yeah,
Yeah.
where you thought. Yeah,
Uh, you'll have to remind me, Dale, because I can't remember what that it was death of an old self.
Yeah.
yeah.
What old,
You
what
thought you
old
died.
Oh, I was actually, yes. I had to rid myself of yeah, a part of me that's not helping me on my journey, and I actually thought I was dying. Yes. I mean, it was very, very, I found it deeply sad. And of course, the ladies who were singing at the time during the ceremony, all the songs seemed very, very sad as well. And I can't say I enjoyed the experience, but like you were saying, Dale and Andrew, it did show me what I needed to let go of. It was a letting go journey for me, that one. But as Andrew says, I've done far more work since then. So grandmother ayahuasca showed me what I needed to see and what I wasn't facing, but it still took me quite a while, a few months to actually face that. And I think now 6 months later, I'm just about dealt with that part of me that I wouldn't let go of, and that was that controlling aspect of me, the need to control everything around me, people around me, and so on. And I'm I have done a lot of work on it since. So ayahuasca was brilliant for bringing that to my attention and showing me it. She really showed me the feelings, how it was not delaying my journey, but I was really getting in my own way all the time with having this aspect.
That's
Which is
it.
one of the greatest thing ayahuascas can do. It can show you how these aspects pop up during your journey space and take you down mind trails that are not the ayahuasca experience. I want to step in here for a moment. And there are people who can have amazing experiences and very negative experiences and then severely color and spice them to not be what the experience is because it was so challenging to them and the ego inside of them. Far too often, ayahuasca journeys become about an ego death. Now, you hear about this in many different conversations. And what is an ego death? An aspect of yourself that is so potent and powerful that it can manipulate your inner belief system to make truth false and false truth and confuse the two so that the ego stays empowered. And there are certain subject matters that involve spirituality that when one takes ayahuasca, the only way for you to experience the ayahuasca and its a unique message is to go through the ego death.
That's what happened to me, Andrew. It was like part of my dickhead self on the second journey or the third journey was trying to change it to be something it wasn't. And I
Yep.
remember going to it, I was just like, right, let go. And I finally let go. And that's when the actual journey happened. There was just a part of me which wasn't wanting it. But once I got over that and allowed myself to actually let go to the experience, it was beyond beautiful. It really was.
Now, something else to understand about the ego death, it doesn't want to die. And unfortunately, this leads to people going into multiple ayahuasca ceremonies and they create a story because the ego won't die and won't die and won't die. 10, 12, 15 into it, all of a sudden, the ayahuasca's penetrative enough into them that 10 journeys that they just did and the false images that they created crash and give them master ego death. And people come out and never want to do ayahuasca again or come out and are never the same again because the ego inside them was so strong and they didn't do any of the inner work afterwards to truly understand how they were changing the truths and the falsities.
So, what does that do to the person who has that ego death, that shattering, when they come out after that? And you say they're very changed.
Some call them broken.
Yeah.
I say that the filters are off and what was really there is there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? The mask of covering up whatever was truly there is not there anymore. Okay?
So, other than ayahuasca, are there other ways that an ego death can be brought
Sure.
about?
Most high level journeys that include hallucinogens have a form of ego death if you have a spiritual intent from the beginning. Now, there are other things like cannabis. It's not about an ego death. It's about the activation of happiness, and then can you maintain the activation of happiness? The same thing with mushrooms, though. There are mushrooms that are a unique form of teacher spirit and will not allow you to enjoy the journey. They're going to put you on a path of this is going to happen and repeat and repeat and repeat until you learn the lesson. And then you repeat and repeat and learn the next lesson that can challenge the ego because it's trying to get you to a state of being to clear the ego's perception of what the medicine is trying to teach you in the first place, which is pure, unrestricted love.
Mm.
Without preconditions, without assumptions, without things that are manipulating or controlling it. And then there are things that are adjacent to love. It's how you receive love, how you give love, and how you give and receive love to others who are in multiple degrees of separation with you.
So, someone who's had a massive ego death through Aya, as you were saying just now, would find it actually quite difficult to live in the world again because they had covered their authentic self up so much with the layers and layers of ego that they almost don't know themselves.
They don't have the intervening masks to cover up, and it's very hard for them to be in public because they don't have the old masks.
Right.
They'll
So
have to
they're,
create new masks.
yes,
And
they're
then
fully
there's
exposed.
something else I want to add. Then there
Yeah.
are people who take ayahuasca who really weren't ready for it, and the shaman overdoses them.
Mm.
So they go through several hundred ego deaths, and they come out shattered and broken, unable to put themselves back together. I've had countless numbers of private sessions where I've had to put Humpty Dumpty back together again because the person that was doing it made it far too strong. Okay? And it's not about one cup. When they were brewing it, there's far too much trachuna in it, far too much ayahuasca in it, and it's something not even the most advanced people would have taken as a single cup, and they're handing 3, 4, and 5 cups out of it. Okay? It'd be like equivalent of doing like 15 hits of acid.
Wow.
Same thing with Blue Frog. And again, I say a lot of things that are contrary to many other teachers. Blue Frog is not for everyone. I've met countless number of people with one Blue Frog incident. It isn't pop into the universe and see the aliens and this and that like so many others. Their mind, their spirit is not ready for that. Okay? Or they're gone too far and the shaman didn't understand how to bring them back into their body. And they spend 5, 6 years confused about life. Is that a spiritual contract? Sure,
Mm-hmm.
it is. Meaning they've got to find a grounding daily practice that brings them back to earth, brings them back together. Okay? Ayahuasca, Blue Frog, all that was meant to be done in a highly sacred ceremonial situation, not as a recreational weekend experience.
And I think it's important to actually process the teachings of ayahuasca, because for me, each one of them, I went back, I processed it and did loads of different like inner work to kind of advance it. Like for me, like the Bear Lodge teachings, Founder Being teachings, I made sure that I went back the next time and I actually learned from the last experience. And I think a lot of people don't really actually,
They don't
you know,
know
do
that.
the, yeah,
No one tells them.
yeah,
Or they didn't have enough of their own inner work experience to even realize, hey, you should do a lot of inner work before it and then learn from it a tremendous amount of inner work afterwards. Okay? They just
I
have the experience and they chalk it up to like a roller coaster ride, something else you did on the bucket list. And it has no sacred ongoing value to them.
I remember how much preparation we did with you in mentorship
Yeah.
way back then, and I think we had to have 3 of our own ceremonial fires,
Mm-hmm.
um, and sending energy forward, which is something Dale and I did the last time we did it. Um, Sending the energy forward to our future selves for the experience and so on.
Because
There was
that tells ayahuasca you are ready for the multidimensional experience. You have learned the rules of love, and we can start the journey on equal footing. All too often, the journeys are not started on equal footing, and that's what ayahuasca is trying to do you when you're going through the purgings, tops and bottom. It's trying to get you to an equal footing with it, to be a signature frequency match for the uniqueness of what Aya's trying to teach you and maintaining that signature frequency match 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 hours.
That's a little bit like the dragon energy, isn't it? You have to be
Similar?
equal to that.
Yeah, similar.
Yeah.
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 because I remember I was doing prayers, like allowing myself to send prayers forward in time, to allow my body to be relaxed, not change actually changing the experience, but allowing the prayers to allow me to receive and open up. And a lot of people don't do that groundwork, and it's so important to start doing that, getting yourself ready, prayers forward, your body's relaxed. You're not trying to change the experience, but you're just trying to allow yourself to let go. And that was important for me doing that. And you mentioned that for me to do it, Andrew, and it really helped me.
Something else is we talk about it here on this show, but very few people actually practice it. Okay?
Mm.
You, to understand the journey of sending prayers forwards and backwards, it's teaching yourself how to send and receive love without time as the medium in which it can be doled out and accepted. And there's a grander philosophy there, which is we're multidimensional, multifunctional beings who don't need singular time. And when you are able to make a part of your masterful long term practice the capacity to send consciousness forwards and backwards, especially forwards to future versions of you who are going to be going into a sacred moment where there may be emotional challenges, and reminding yourself that the gift from the past is we've earned this. We're sending you love, and all you have to do is tap into that love of your own self, be aware of it, bring it into the body, let it be a part of your heart, your spirit, your words, and let it calm whatever anxiety is going on from the unknown in the experience. And let it mix with the unknown like a mixed drink until it's filled with a concept of confidence and not anxiety.
That is so beautifully put, Andrew. That that really is, because for me it is the stepping into that no time where everything is available to you if you're going to be a signature frequency match to it. But
Yep.
you have to do the work to step out of Roman numeral time, whether it's ceremony or however it is that you personally do it, and connect to that no time moment. and connect to that no time where, for me, when you're in there, everything just flows. And you could say, well, then you're in divine flow, which I think is another phrase you've said to me in the past. And that's such a great teaching that you actually don't hear many people talk about, stepping into no time.
Yeah.
I don't hear many teachers talking about, stepping into no time to connect with other selves, past, present, future, sending energy forward and so on from that no time space.
Why do you think that is, Laura?
They've not practiced it.
Many of them don't have a daily practice to begin with,
Yeah.
so that they can relate it as an actual experience that others can create for an experience for themselves. Or if they
Yes.
do, it's a hierarchical system of paid teachings that don't open it up to you from the very beginning, which it should be opened up to you from the very beginning. It's where you make your best mistakes that give you the greatest learnings about self-healing, self-nurturing, and the journey of mastering self-healing and self-nurturing.
And the greatest joys too. And it's like where we belong. It's just
Those are byproducts. Those are byproducts of that. We belong in that energy. We belong in
yes,
this space. We deserve our own love. We deserve our own frequencies. We deserve a grander view of the universe because we've earned it.
yes, yeah. And yet we're not, as you say, people aren't teaching it or are aware of it or have experienced it themselves. But I mean, your teachings do, which is the beauty of them. And that's what, Dale and I want to teach people as we go out there.
How many people do you think actually let go in ayahuasca, Andrew, fully?
A very small percentage.
Yeah.
Very small percentage.
Well, we know I didn't last time, Dale, but the first time I did.
Yeah, yeah.
It was just a different container, obviously working with Andrew's mentorship with, Martina.
That was no, Laura. That was a culmination of all your work.
Okay. All
Okay,
right. Yeah.
and you earned that diamond level experience. Okay,
Mm.
you earned it. Don't ever diminish that. You earned it. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Think of how much that unique experience has transformed so many aspects of your life.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Totally. The last one was much harder, but you said to me when I said, "Should I do it?"
Well, I said it won't be the same.
Yeah. Yeah, and you were right. And yes, it beat me up somewhat. I beat myself up because I wouldn't let go, would I, Dale?
No.
Mhm.
I was like, for the second one, I'm only going to have half a cup. I don't need any
You
more.
already made your mind up on the night before that you were not going to do it the next night. And I was like, Laura, no.
Yeah, I
I'm not
said
gonna
I've
do
seen everything I want to see. I don't want to see anymore of what that aspect of me is like. So I didn't get the fullness of the journey that I could have got. I was chicken shit, Andrew.
No, I've had my chicken shit moments in my journeys too. Like I don't want to know anymore.
Yeah.
I've had enough of my asshole self showing me all the shit I'm doing wrong, or just taking over and trying to go super galactic for no fucking reason, other than to prove to myself I could do it when I was on medicine, which had no grander experience other than being able to do it while on that journey and seeing these beings. But again, it didn't give me a grander experience. It limited my experience.
Interesting.
Okay. I know I can do that level of communication. Why would I need to do it on Aya? That was
Yes.
my ego forcing the skills to connect to those other things and taking away from the grander jury. And Aya's going like, ha ha, showed you. Ha 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 ha. Can you come back to reality now? Ha 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 ha. Okay? Laughing at me. Laughing at me. And my ego, are you laughing at me? Aren't you supposed to love me? I'm going to go deeper into the universe. I'm going to find it and bring it back to you, bitch. That shit didn't work. Just wasted a whole journey.
Yeah, my journey
Go on, Dale. Go on.
was so I'd say life changing. Like I think of it and it just inspires me. Like I had the founder beings one, the Bear Lodge teachings as well. And I was just in the Bear Lodge for hours, just being shown all these different various things. And even thinking about it makes me smile. And it really allowed me to realize how special I was,
Yep.
and how unique and how connected to spirit I really was.
Yep.
It was phenomenal. It really was. My journeys were amazing.
Yep. See,
Showed
for
you what
me,
you
I
needed.
have those experiences without the need of the medicine,
Mm,
which was
Yes.
ultimately the grander message that Aya taught individually, specifically for my signature frequency match with it. Okay. I don't need the medicine to do it. When I need the medicine, it'll be there. But until then, ever since I was a very young child, I've been able to tap into the medicine space. I just didn't realize it was called that. Everybody does it.
yes. Yeah, I've been able to do it with my vision since the first ayahuasca.
Hmm.
And the route to that for me was always joy.
Yep. Joy, happiness
Yeah.
of being present in your body.
Yes. Without having to throw up. Without
Oh, I
needing the
even learned
bucket.
to be happy as I was throwing up. And
Yes.
bottom and top at the same time. Oh, this is so great. Get it out. Oh, get it out. I learned to even bring bliss through that. Fuck yeah, it's coming again. Something I can't alchemize. Blah.
So people who go on and on having ayahuasca journeys, what are they doing to their long-term evolution?
There's no
Their
cookie
long-
cutter way to explain that one. Everybody has a karmic relation to what the medicine may or may not show them, and their
Mm,
capacity to may or may not see, depending on the value and strength of the ego, the value and strength of how much you're in your body. If you're one of those people who just can't be in your body, constantly in a state of anxiety, constantly using the adrenaline glands too much, you're going to want to move around during your journey and you're going to limit its experience. And I'll be blunt. If you're one of those people that gets up and moves around and talks and plays music during your Aya, you're not doing Aya. You are not surrendering.
Yeah.
You are in full denial of the experience. You should be laying still like a dead body 10 hours. And if you need to get up to purge, you get up to purge, swish some water. If you want to drink some water, great. No more than 10 minutes, and then go lay right back to laying down. But those people who are full of adrenaline, full of anxiety, they have the itchies. They cannot lay down. And every 5 minutes, they're getting up. Every 10 minutes, they get up. Every time the clock tries to erase being a clock and enter no time, they get up and reset the clock to being in time. Yes, ayahuasca is having a great time taking us through it. And other times it's having sad moments because it wanted you to be closer. And there are times you do feel the sadness from the medicine because the medicine knows if I push it anymore, you will not learn the lesson. So I bring you right to the edge where choice is so vitally important. And if you learn the rules of choice, at any moment, you can change the experience by surrendering through love of yourself and channeling that love. But that also means in the past, you have to know how to channel love into yourself. So if you come into ayahuasca and have had really a loveless life, yes, Aya will try to bring you there, but you still have to surrender to it and go through those early lessons of what unlimited love truly can potentially be for you, and not your previous perverted versions of love redefining it.
So does she have an individual contract with everybody on the planet?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. To be here at this time. How long has she been around?
It's not time. There's no time related to ayahuasca.
Oh no, of course not. It's no time, isn't it? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my experience with the founder beings, Andrew, is that like that was what was needed in the moment for me, wasn't it?
Um Look at what came after it, Dale.
Yeah.
Your life changed within 6 months, didn't it?
Yes, it did. Yeah.
And within a year, it was nothing like the old life, was it?
No, completely different. And it showed me as well.
You had to have that experience before those karmic life journeys took over and changed your life radically, so that it was a foundational part of you, so that when you were going through the losing of the self and the separation of the family, that would be a marker stone for you to return to and expand on during your harsh times of emotional ups and downs of changing the marriage. Okay.
Wow.
That's why it was there. It was at a time where the craziness hadn't taken over. You could truly process it, and you made it real for yourself. And all those spiritual practices you did before that validated and revalidated that experience for you. Now, what can you do to make it real without the medicine at the time where nothing's the same anymore? You take those teachings that you know and you make them real, make them words. That's what living the mystical life daily is. I didn't need the medicine to write it. I had the death of somebody very close to me. And that was my driving force to complete these teachings as a legacy to the world.
That was a lot like me with the psychic surgery when my dad died. That's when I, did the training and wrote the book and started
Yep.
to teach people. It inspired me in that way.
Yep.
It comes in many forms, doesn't it? That pivotal moment,
Yeah.
or that pivotal time, like in a shaman's death. It brings about that change.
Hmm. What has changed, though?
Choosing newer path, choosing a different path,
Natural
separation of
evolution.
densities.
How much choice is in change?
Only the choice to accept it.
And then follow through with it,
Yeah.
commit to it, hold yourself accountable to it, and then return to that choice. That change is real into you. And then change becomes a choice every time. A choice we must maintain with what? Our willpower.
Mm. And that's the drive forward, isn't it?
It's the first kick in the butt to move forward.
Yeah.
But there's a
Yes.
thousand steps after that kick in the butt that are the
Yeah.
calibration of maintaining choice, what it takes to hold ourselves accountable so that change is an ongoing process and not a backwards motion, and not 3 steps forward, 2 steps back, 2 steps forward, 6 steps back.
Yeah. So there is a responsibility aspect to change.
Which is your level of responsibility is equal to your awareness, and your level of awareness is equal to your responsibility. And when those are out of balance, where there's where we must make change and bring it back to balance,
Hmm.
keeping within our ability to hold our responsibilities.
Hence, linking that back to ayahuasca, which
Correct.
is why whatever happens in ayahuasca, it's then your responsibility to take that change forward that you've learned and not leave it at the door as you leave. Because,
Or color it in such a way and deny its truth.
yeah, not see it, refuse to see it.
Sure. Or
Yeah.
just color the experience in such a way that
Yes.
takes the negative off because you're not ready to talk about it to others. Oh yeah, it was a bright and this, I did this and this, and that may have happened in the experience, but they never tell you about being trapped in a realm of darkness that had no nothing in it, and they were alone and alone and alone and alone and alone until they surrendered and suddenly felt the spark of love, had that vision, and then they were back into what's called the waiting room, colors and things confusing them, or subject matters from their deep inner consciousness coming up, taking away from the experience that was showing them something else.
Mm. Yeah, the not letting go in the journeys is just beats you up
Sure.
the more you
Because
don't
it's so
let go.
hard to let go.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes. Yeah, that's what I found the second
We
journey.
aren't taught that at a young age. So it's very foreign to everyone. It's a very much learned experience that just like it's like an acquired taste, it's an acquired experience that takes time to develop.
Yes, because I think in that surrender, you think you're not going to retain any control. Well, I guess you're not. That's the whole point of the surrender. But it doesn't stop you being sovereign because sovereignty is a choice.
Oh, it's many choices in an
Mm.
algorithm of many situational choices that give us choice points of adherence, which we must learn to break.
So what happens when you go into ayahuasca with ego? It just kicks your ass, doesn't it? Pretty much.
Everybody's journey is going to be different.
Yeah,
No cookie cutter way to describe it.
yeah,
Okay. Some people, the ego, all it's going to do is allow the movie show. It's like seeing Avatar, the first time. Holy shit, that's beautiful colors. Yeah, that was a great story, but you're not really in it. You're just watching it.
yeah.
Okay.
Because that's what I felt people's experience after. Like, a lot of them didn't really talk about what it was. It was just like, yeah, I saw some really cool things, and that was
Because
it.
they couldn't process it.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm there with a bet talking about introspection, self reflection, all of these different things, and
Right.
when everyone's going around, they're just like, yeah, yeah, it was good. I saw this, saw some really cool patterns and waves, and it was like, all right, like, what
Yeah,
are
they
we
got
doing here?
entertained. They had a good movie, a 5
Yeah,
hour movie.
yeah. And I'm like, fucking hell, all these teachings, I'm ready. I want to fucking do this. I want, I want to learn more about this.
Yeah.
There was one guy on the first one, Laura and Andrew, when you didn't come to this one, Laura, the first time. He
Mm.
said when we went round, he goes, "Do you want a small, medium, or large? Do you want to have a large? Because I always have a large drink in the club." And he's never had any ayahuasca or any hallucinogenics. He took a large one with his ego, like talking, and he had a shit time, and he was throwing up for about 2 hours straight away. Like, and when he drank it, all you could hear was, "Oh shit!" He actually shouted it out loud, and everyone was laughing. Like,
So, do you think I was having fun there? Sure.
yes,
We all see the cosmic joke.
Yes, I
Okay.
was going to
We
say.
all see the cosmic joke.
Yeah.
And there are moments in the journey, like I remember one of the journeys I did some time ago. We're like maybe 6 hours into it. We had just taken our second cup, and we're all going to that state. We're all trying to get back into that relaxed state. And in the corner here, and then giggle, 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 giggle. And it seemed like more maybe 4 or 5 people farted, and it just kept spreading the giggles louder than the music until we were probably in this joyous collective laughter for what seemed like forever. Forever. To the point my side hurt so bad. And as soon as it was done, I think I fell asleep in ayahuasca because I blanked out. And the next thing I know was call for the third cup. Okay? But everyone remembered it. Absolutely everyone in the group remembered it. You guys had your Bears moment.
oh god, when the I was in the journey, she was like, "Does anybody want to have a song played for them?" And I was too gone to say anything, and I tried to talk, and I can't speak because I was like gone. Then the next time she said it, just shouted out a song about bears. Then all of a sudden, the next night, she put on Bare Necessities, and you could
Yes.
hear the grandfathers in the actual music talking and the teachings through it. and afterwards everyone just started pissing themselves. It was like a universal joke. It was so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
So, talking about it running out in about 10 years, do you see anything coming up that takes its place, or what?
No.
Okay, right.
Be blunt, no. And it's a deep dark secret in the community,
Mm,
and people have known about this for a very long time. Okay,
right.
the industry doesn't want to talk about it. What's
Right.
going to happen when all the local shamans can't get it, or the price goes 20 times or 50 times the volume for lower quality? What are they going to do? They're going to find replacement plants
Mm,
that will not be the same.
no. No, well, it can't be, can it?
So, what is an example of an ayahuasca journey without drinking medicine? our healing experience that we do. We call it
Yes.
the no drug mystical experience.
Yes.
The
Lucia light.
Lucia light, the flotation tank, hyperbaric chamber, the deep tissue massage, the PEMF mat, in combination, that gets the body, mind, and spirit into the body, into alignment, and into visionary space without drugs.
So
That's why
sometimes,
we do it.
actually, yeah, in my experience, I mean, you don't necessarily have to do any of what you've said there, the sage cleanse, the fire ceremony. I mean, it's all great. But if you're doing that as like part of your agendaed practice anyway, then there are moments when you can go out and maybe capture a prayer time under the stars. I don't know. I'm just talking about my own personal experience where you are able to capture such joy of the moment that you slip into that, like the ayahuasca space.
Yes.
And it's very difficult one to put into words because it's a very personal experience. But what I can tell you at the depth of all that is a real deep unconditional love, which I know you have, a real deep unconditional love for the earth, for who you are, the fact you're here at this time. There's so many things, aspects that make up this algorithm of this exquisite joy, which then it's that, like that instant connection where everything around you then you become part of. And I'm maybe not explaining it very well, but for
No,
me,
you are.
that is my experience without medicine. You're creating your own energetic medicine of the moment, built on these blocks
Bliss.
of joy and the practice that you've done. And it's available for us, and the ancestors love it.
Yeah.
When you get,
It's the journey of transforming joy into bliss,
yeah,
bliss into grandiose visionary experiences that transform more bliss into more experiences. Um, as I've said, we call it the no drug mystical experience. But like from
yeah,
the very beginning, you don't need medicine to get into a medicine space. There are some people that should do medicine once and never do it again. There are many people who should never do it at all. And there are other substances and hallucinogens that have a far less serious journey to them, but they're enough to open the doors to the multidimensional experience for you to get over the anxiety and the fear. When we do our combined therapy, specifically for the no drug experience, we are getting the body through all of the different techniques into its deepest state of relaxation. When you're doing the 5 hours of treatment, at the end of the day, it's equivalent to like 25 hours of sleep in 5 hours. When's the last time you had 25 hours of sleep in 5 hours? It's like the superest of super naps where you've gone so far. With the combination of pulse electromagnetic therapy, oxygen therapy, and the Lucia light, it puts the body into the chemical state where it will produce its own DMT. And what we do is we bring guided meditations in that are during the experiences. But after that 5 hours, when you go back to your room and you're in that state of relaxation, it doesn't go away. They're still available for you. That's why we do it at a place where you can have that time to do the introspective work afterward, to return to that space. And then you repeat it day after day after day after day. A lot of people that are doing the 4-day or 5-day or even the 3-day experience, 2, 3, 4 weeks after, they're still able to enter that medicine space and not need actual drug to convert that space to prove it's real.
Yes, I never thought of that before. I've always thought of it as the since you introduced it, the no drug mystical experience, but reconnecting to that medicine space. Yes, it absolutely does that. It's like you drop so many layers, don't you? Because you're dropping the programming. You just drop and leave so much behind. You're just left with the exquisiteness of your authentic self.
That's right.
So is that why you say a lot of people use it like a church or a religion, and
Yep.
that's like they just over bastardize it,
Yep.
and they can't do it without it. Yeah, it's like kind of a
It was
need.
never meant to be a religion.
Yeah,
And unfortunately, it's become that. That's the only time they can make it sacred. The lead up to and the few minutes after, and it's back to regular life. Another weekend warrioring, or twice a year, or whatever it is they do, 4 times a year. And they're blissfully ready to do that because that's all they're ready out of their unique experience. Okay? Spirituality is a daily journey, not every 4 weeks or every 6 weeks or every 12 weeks. Because if you're doing it every 6, 12, 15, 18 weeks, what's really the more important to you? The job you have when you're doing that in between the 18 weeks? The money you spend on yourself, family, and friends? And a lot of people, like, that's fine for them because they have to live this life. They have a karmic journey of giving away their power to the job until they're retired and have to figure out what's new for them. And there are other people that are new to the work experience and they want the vanity things, and there's nothing wrong with that. They want the good things in life. They want to have the good car, the nice house, be able to go out and do stuff because it's part of the karmic journey. But when you want to learn to balance the infinite potentials of the universe as a responsibility of awareness, you must find balance between all of them. And that journey to balance is the grand teeter-totter. What am I balancing today? What am I balancing tomorrow? And being on the plan, not the no plan. The plan has love involved in it and allows us to roll with the environment that's coming around us. Today I must balance self-love. Tomorrow I must give to the job so I don't lose that job. And another, you may have to give to the job 2, 3, 4 weeks, and then the balance is getting back into feeding the self, nurturing the self. And so many people end up completely so imbalanced, they don't know where to start balancing all the different things in their life. You start by a little bit here and a little bit there until you are able to peck away at the volume of things that need to be done until the daily experience eliminates the need to have grander balancing moments. It's because you're balancing yourself a little bit every day.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Wow.
I remember when I first was starting this journey with you, and you said to me, "You'll have to learn to walk with a foot in both worlds."
Yep. And then eventually you'll dance between both worlds.
Yes. And then it becomes like, as Jamie Sam says, dancing the dream, isn't it?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. Beautiful way to live.
Mm-hmm. Now, for Ashley's question is what she can do for herself, like in a 3-hour experience that isn't any drugs. Before that experience is more important than during the experience. Okay? So think of it this way. You're going to set it up on Saturday night. I'm intending to do my ceremony to get me to that place. And let's say you decide that on Monday. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday are what you do to prepare yourself to remove anxiety, to remove ego, to remove stress, and to make that environment sacred. Okay? How does one remove stress? All right. On Tuesday, I'm going to tell myself for the next few days, I have to actively look at the word of what is my stress in life. And I'm going to actively tell myself that on Saturday, those aren't going to be there invading my mind. What are anxieties? The same concept. They're not going to invade my mind. The space that I'm going to do in, I'm not going to sage it once. I'm going to sage it 4 times. Why? Because I'm going to do the due diligence so the future me trusts what I did those previous 4 times. Because trusting the self is so vital to allowing the experience for even just a handful of seconds. Okay? Most people sage once every couple of weeks and they don't put a lot behind it. And if you sage 4 days in a row and you really put a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more behind each one of those, okay? Then during that 3 hours experience, the day of, well, prepare a meal. Okay, so you don't have to go to the fridge because the biggest challenge of maintaining in that 3 hour space is, I'll just go to my fridge and hold the door open and look at it for 10 minutes and then go back. Okay, and then you've broken the sacred experience. Prepare, have your drink, have your food, have what I call your journey toys, your crystals. Well, before that, clear those crystals, put them in the sunlight, put them in the moonlight, put as much effort as you can in to preparing the things that are going to be a part of you. Prepare a guided meditation. When I mean prepare, practice it so it's easy for you to do. Or set up a playlist. Okay? Preparation depicts the execution. And the more time, effort, and love you put into the preparation, the more it will repay you in the moment of now what? I'm in this experience. I'm truly activating it, and the pressure is on me to create it, believe it, validate it, and make it real for multiple hours. So I will not deny it when it's over. Cover it up and color it and not go back to it. That's a quotable one.
Yes, it is. There's been a few this show, Andrew.
Well, guys,
So
I've got to let you go. I've got to get to my next session. It's been great being on the show with you guys again. Look forward to doing it again. You guys go deeper. Take some callers or something. See what other people think about different experiences.
Yeah, sure.
thank you so much, Andrew.
Do
All
that.
right, guys.
Thanks,
Take it easy.
Andrew. Catch you later.
So, is there anybody in the chat who wants to call in? We'll put the link in as well if you want to come in and chat about ayahuasca or just anything we've gone over. Or if you've had an experience or any questions at all, just come in and have a chat with us. The link's in the chat. So just come on in, guys.
Yeah. Any questions about it?
Interesting, that Laura, isn't it? That it's not going to be around in 10 years.
Yes. Did
I've
it
never
come here
heard
just 'cause-
anybody talk about that.
No. Did it come in when it was needed? And
Must
now
have
she's
been,
ready
yeah.
to go. As Andrew said, like it's part of her karmic journey here.
Yeah, a lot like not exactly the same, but Palo Santo is like that, isn't it? It's been absolutely raped, and people have just overused it, and they overused, and there's not many of it left anyway.
Mm.
Yeah,
It's like anything, isn't it? It's what you use it for.
that's it.
And especially with like ayahuasca, it's the sacredness with which you use it. I mean, I guess people do recreational aya then, do they? Because I've only ever done ceremonial aya.
I think people microdose of it as well. Actually, which I've heard a few people do that.
Oh, okay.
So if you've not tried ayahuasca, what does it taste like for you? What can you describe it, Laura, the taste wise? I say it's like an
Prune.
ashtray. It's like literally drinking an ashtray with water.
Yes, I was going to say it's like prune juice would be disservice to prunes, wouldn't it? It's I don't know. Yeah, you have to get it down quick. So, what are these questions here? Can you give some perspective on the DMT goddess? I had an experience before. I heard someone describe her in detail, but it was without the drug and a deep sleep.
So, what is the question? The DMT goddess, is that so? With myself doing ayahuasca and the DMT, it allowed me to see the grandmothers. I wouldn't really call them goddesses, but I'd call them the ancestors. So it depends what you think and observe. A lot of people have different experiences. Lots of see different beings and animal totems and so on. But for me, I remember the first time, and this Alfredo, this connects to your question as well. So I did DMT in 2012 or 2011, and I smoked it. And when I did it, I basically thought I was dead. Like I literally, my third eye ripped open. I thought I died, left my body pretty much, and all I saw was 7 different ancestors, and there were rainbow beings stood right in front of me. It felt like they were right there, and they were showing me loads of different messages, and there was a roadmap. And this is something I only realized a year ago. I actually saw the roadmap in my 2011, 2012 journey in DMT. They showed me like this board of galactic language going up and down. They actually had a map out and they were showing me it, all the ancestors holding the map in front of me. And I'm staring at this map and I'm like, I can't fucking read that. What the fuck's that saying? And all of a sudden, 10 years later, I'm like, that was a roadmap. They were showing me the roadmap and they were, yeah, it's incredible. And so DMT for me it was more like when I smoked it was like a bungee jump, but the DMT experience was fucking amazing for myself, because I actually saw my physical ancestors as rainbow beings and they were dancing, moving around, and it was like being in a party with them. And they were all stood on by the side of me, and there's one sat down, and I remember he was itching its head, and I was getting a bit freaked out because I was like, look at that one, it's actually itching its head, and yeah, it's phenomenal, really. So my experience DMT to Aya Alfredo. Uh, I'd say DMT is like a bungee jump. Ayahuasca is kind of like you're floating and it's up and down, up and down, up and down. You're there, you're not there, you're there, you're not there. But DMT is like you're literally in the other side. Like, and it's so fast paced. There's so much overload of data and so on. So we've got any more questions here?
Yeah, so Jerry's saying that he's seen Mama Aya as a young goddess, and or how he met Gaia and myself from being a raindrop to an eagle to a galaxy. Yes. Well, one of my experiences with Aya was I asked what it's like to be Aya, and she came in and showed me what it was like to be the plant. That was actually on the medicine journey I shared with you, Dale,
Yeah,
because I started to actually feel and smile and she just it's like she came inside of me to show me what it was like to be the plant, which was amazing. I mean, there's so many, look, everybody's going to have their own, wonderful and or difficult experience with Aya, aren't they, depending on what's needed at the time.
that's it.
So there was another one that's interesting up here, Dale, so thank you, Kimberly, because you've been putting a few comments in. Do you think for everyone that does it would bring that consciousness back to the collective? I don't know, because not everybody's meant to do it anyway, are they? And when you talk about collective consciousness, I mean, we all know it's an individual journey. So it sounds like the question is saying, like, everybody ought to do it so that we get a collective rising consciousness. But for me, it doesn't work like that because it's all an individual journey to raise the consciousness. How would you take that, Dale?
Yeah, I'd say it's more of an individual journey, really, and allowing yourself to kind of get ready for more of a collective awareness. But for me, it was all about myself. and what I needed to change within myself to connect to a collective. So I guess
Yes.
it's just different for everyone.
Yeah, and I think actually, sorry, Kimberly, I think that's probably what you're saying. If you do it, you bring that consciousness back to the collective. Well, yeah, as you raise your consciousness, you have a knock-on effect, don't you? And you bring that back to the
Yes.
all. The
So
past,
we
present.
have someone come in here. We have Lambda. I'll just get them on.
Hello.
Hello there. How are you doing?
Hi.
At 5 o'clock in the morning.
Top of the morning to you.
No, it's 5 o'clock in the morning, I think you said, didn't you?
Oh, so you say top of the
Mhm.
voice at top of the morning.
Yep.
Where are you
Good.
calling from, Lambda?
I'm calling from Australia.
Okay. Right, you
right
are
down
up bright
under.
and early. Down under. Yeah,
Mhm.
you've been on a few times, haven't you? Or I've seen your name before. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just like so sleepy. I'm like, farts are funny.
Yes.
Have you enjoyed the show so far?
I have. Andrew really just like gold chain backwards hat just fucking flowed, man.
He
Yes.
has this, doesn't he, when he gets into that flow, and he had quite a few of those. It's beautiful. I love hearing him when he gets into one of those.
Mm.
So, have you had ayahuasca?
I have not.
Okay. And have you wanted to? Have you thought about doing it?
Hmm.
Not
Well,
now, he says.
I guess I would have to like be very practiced, wouldn't I? Hmm.
Well, I don't know. What sort of daily practice do you have now? Hold on. Do you have a daily practice?
Haha, you got me. No, I don't. What
Okay.
would be a daily practice? Would it be just prayer?
That's basic.
Or
Have you heard Andrew talk about the different grades of practicing? The times, like 15 minutes a day and then going up to an hour and a half a day. 90 minutes a day is grade A. Have you heard him talk about that? So
I have,
even
but
if
I haven't heard the grading.
Okay, so even if you're doing like grade C, which is 15 minutes a day, it's better than nothing.
Hmm.
Okay.
How about we switch it up? What's the most funny experience that you had with ayahuasca?
um,
Mine was probably
yeah.
so the purging. So basically, the first time I did it was basically the ancestors said to me, "We're going to take you on your avoidance of ancestral responsibility," and that's what they said straight away. The words came out. This is your avoidance of ancestral responsibility, and they showed me all the shit I was avoiding, all the little stuff I was doing, and in front of the kids, and all of these different conditioning programs. And towards the end, I got the joke of what purging was about. And the purging was a forgetting of who they were and the releasing and not able to accept who they were. And it was about the purging was basically karma. So every single person being sick, they were releasing karma. The forgotten was there, and I started laughing and I was crying of laughter because I realized what purging was because ayahuasca had a joke with me. So I went through all those teachings and realized what all the purging meant. So that was probably the funniest part for me was when people were being sick, I just kept laughing, and I could just see all of these people go, "Bleh, bleh," all this karma, no, gotta get it out, gotta get it out. And I was just like, fuck's sake, this is hilarious.
That's brilliant, Dale. That's such a good description of the purging,
Yes,
the offloading of the karma, of
yeah.
course.
That's what
Yeah.
it, and everyone doing it was karma, 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 karma. The forgotten,
Yeah.
the forgotten.
So are you tempted, Lambda?
Tempted?
Is it something you want to do on your spiritual journey? Is try Aya?
With proper practice, yes. I'm
Okay.
taking the words of advice from you two as well as Andrew. That if I am going to do it, I need to put in grade A, C plus effort. Way better than C plus.
Yeah. Well, at least start there. At least start with your
Yeah.
C plus, and get that going. Otherwise, it would be a bit of a shock for you, I think. That, like we were talking about before, there's a degree of preparation because one, it costs to do it, and you don't want to disrespect Mother Ayahuasca because you might get
Or
a bit
she'll kick
picked
your
up.
ass.
Yes,
Or
exactly.
maybe, yeah. No. What about you, Laura? What's funny? What's like haha thoughts funny type thing?
I don't know. It was very funny. I mean, my first one was with Andrew and the mentorship group, and that was a most amazing experience. But I remember I didn't know it was Andrew playing the piano in the background, and I heard somebody playing, and I said how awful they were. And I didn't know Andrew that well at that time. And he's always reminded me of it since. I told him how bad his piano playing was. But I can't, it's not like it was a serious journey. And I'm sure we did have a lot of fun during it, but there were just, it wasn't that like ha ha moments for me in it, but just such exquisite magic the first time round. And the second time round, it beat me up. As you heard. But look, it's what I needed. It's what I needed.
Well, that's all I got. If anyone wants to come in here, shoot
That's really
jokes,
good of you. Well done for coming in.
Thank you.
We appreciate that. And keep up all the good work, or, like start it.
Thank you, Laura.
Would be good.
All right, Joe, eject me.
Thanks for
Thank
calling
you.
in. Thank you.
Colonics are a great self-created sacred purge if you can make it. Yes, Alfredo.
I haven't had the going out my back passage on ayahuasca. That wouldn't really. Yeah, that would be a weird experience on ayahuasca. Trying to get up to go to have a shit, just on the toilet trying.
Breath work, yes. Goodness, Jerry, yes, that's great. Diaclonics yoga, yeah. Beautiful.
And that's it. And I think it's like the inner work is very important, but it's not seeing it as I have to do it to be this person to do ayahuasca. That's the wrong way of thinking about it. It's like allowing yourself that you do the work on top of everything alongside it, but you don't have to do it to feel a way. And I remember Andrew talking about that once, and it was very true for me. The need, and obviously you have to do the inner work to able to actually be approved or have a good experience, and trying to move away from that. It's just about letting go and doing it alongside everything and letting love in, because that's what ayahuasca did for me. It was allowing, I had to just let love in because that's all it was, love. And there's parts of me which are scared shitless. And a lot of people that have hard times because they don't allow love and don't really understand letting go. And that's when you have your dark night experience and so on.
Yes, you're absolutely right, Dale. It's that surrender to that love. And there's great fear behind that at times, isn't there, of the letting go? Because you're not really sure what's going to happen. Even though I'd had the experience before, the second time was much tougher on me because I didn't let go. And yet I know to let go.
I was quite, I wouldn't say lucky, but there was a point at the start where my dickhead self was trying to strategize the experience. And I literally had to have a word of it, and all of a sudden I just surrendered. It came back up again, I surrendered again. But I could really feel if I allowed myself to allow that kind of to play on me, how it would have changed the experience. So I kind of had a feel for what some of these programs and some of the ego does to try and change the experience to what it's not is. Then I went into the Bear Lodge. That was good. So on my first night on the Aya journey, I drank it, and all of a sudden I saw a wolf, and I went, "Oh, this is a journey about wolf." And all of a sudden, the bear moved the wolf out of the way and goes, "No, it's not. This is a journey of the bear." And yeah, it was so good.
So I like what where is it? Alfredo says, I love the feeling afterwards. Yes, I do. You do get clarity. Yeah. Massive disentanglement from others' energies. Yeah, it is a good feeling, isn't it, as you're coming out of it too? Because you're
Yes.
still carrying it with you, aren't you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Jerry, plant medicine actually became easier when I learnt to be playful. Yes, I think that's what I forgot the second time round was some of those playful energies. That's having, if you go into it with the serious stick like I did the second time, up my backside, it will hurt when she pulls it out.
I'm not having another cup tomorrow. No, that's me done.
Yeah, I know. I don't. Must have been what I needed at the time, Dale.
That's
Must have.
it. Here we go.
No. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. Okay. So I think that's like. Thanks, guys, for all your questions. For those
Yeah,
who've
thank you. I
joined in
think
the
we'll
chat.
wrap up the show.
Yeah.
Great show, Laura. How can people get a hold of you for sessions?
Okay. If you'd like to come and sit round your ancestral fire with me, I'm laura2feathers@gmail.com with the number 2. Yeah, just contact me and I can help you with your self-empowerment journey.
So yeah, we have Bob in the chat. Mine was similar to yours, Laura. It was very sketchy at times. It was showing me all the demons around me in my life. Yeah, we were with Bob when we did it, and he was chasing demon holes. So he was being shown all the demons, and he was just chasing them. Yes, Bob.
Yes, I remember burying his head under the duvet next to me. Oh no, he said as they came again.
And I remember him going up to get another cup, and he was like, I've got to get this out of me. Got to get this more purging going on."
Yes, he was really up for his purging, weren't you,
Yeah, he
Bob?
was. He was telling him. He was saying, I'm purging. Give me another cup to purge." Oh, yes, Rob. So if anybody would like psychic surgery one-to-one sessions as well, head over to daletobin.com and book a session with me. I'm also training one-to-one psychic surgery, and I'll also have some dates up for the next psychic surgery training. So drop me an email to book there. So yeah, thank you very much, everyone, for your questions. What an amazing show, Laura.
Great show. And also Dale and I have a Lucia number 3 light. We have 2 PEMF mats and our skills. So if anybody has any retreats happening around the UK, would be easier, or any events you'd like us to attend, we are very happy to do that. We're doing that in between doing the combined healing, but we can do a form of combined healing when we visit you. If you've got anything at all and you feel that we would fit in there, then please let us know, because we have a light and 2 mats and our skills, and we are happy to do what we can to offer a form of combined in the UK. I don't think it's really been mentioned, but yes, we are going to the US later in the year.
Yes.
Which will be exciting. Anything else on the horizon, Dale, that's happening? I've got Divine Feminine Retreat in York, 6th and 7th of June. The Paranormal Rangers will be back tomorrow night at 7 p.m. GMT. And Andrew will be back with Adventures into Reality on Thursday.
Beautiful. And if you can drop a like, subscribe,
so that's it, I think, Dale.
Whatever platform you're on. And good night. Thank you, everyone.
Lovely.